Hey, good afternoon, everybody. August 31st. It's the guy who, the self-proclaimed legend of his own mind, the Gray Ghost again, back with another Indy Memories video. And I hope you guys on YouTube are finding these, and I hope you guys enjoy these videos, reminiscences of my time as an Indy mark and an Indy fan. My first video I did a few days ago was basically about some of the personalities, two promoters that I really was fond of in my life, primarily in New England Indies. And I got a lot of stuff to talk about over the next few videos, good and bad, as I said. Today I want to talk about something that in the WWE, WWF, NWA, AWA, world class, CMP wrestling, everywhere, managers. It's a lost art nowadays in WWE. Ring of Honor, TNA has, I don't really watch those, but I don't think they have a lot of managers either. I think a manager is such an additional thing. It's such an awesome thing to add to a match, because a lot of times a manager obviously affects the match, puts a little intrigue into the storylines and everything else, and it's really awesome. Really just adds something to it. You're like, well, what's he going to do? How's he going to save this guy? How's he going to cause this guy to lose? Well, in my time as an Indy fan, I've been fortunate to see a few managers over the years, and I know some of them are going to slip my mind. And Mike Milano, who I talked about in my first video, one of the great personalities here in Connecticut. Mike was a great manager, great personality, and hey, there's not much more I can say about that. In my time in the Indies, there's a few guys I'd just like to, past and present, I just want to briefly touch on in this shorter video. That Big Daddy. Now, for you Connecticut Indy fans, Big Daddy managed when I started coming into Indy wrestling, which I believe was in 2001, as I said, the Enfield Polish home, with the Millennium Wrestling Association. Big Daddy was managing a team called the Power Company, Dave and Dean Powers. And those guys they had a little run in some of the second level world class, or not world class, but WCW shows. A lot of indie shows in New England. But Big Daddy was a classic heel manager who also managed Yokozuna a few times on the indies, late in Yoko's life, and a lot of other guys here in Connecticut and Rhode Island and surrounding areas. Just a great indie manager. Today, in 2017, a couple that come to mind here in New England: David D.G. Haven. D.G. Haven has gone both ways as a heel and a face manager, but he is a fantastic heel manager. Very typical. Always elicits a great heel reaction from the crowd. And he throws in the comedy sometime. I've been to shows where I've had interaction with D.G. Haven, where D.G. Haven, you'll threaten him and he'll run around the ring. And again, he gets involved in the matches. A lot of times he'll take a bump. It just really is a good thing. Another current manager in indie wrestling who I'm very fond of in New England is a young guy named Joseph DiNucci. And he's a unique individual, very nice fella, and really is primarily a heel manager. He was a referee at one time, and a good referee. And Joseph DiNucci is very well known right now in the present throughout New England, does a great job. And he has a very, very, I don't know how to put this, he's very unique, let's put it that way. Managed a lot of champions up here, and again, it adds so much to the match to me. It's just really, really Joseph DiNucci has a great future, in my opinion. Again, though, even in the independent scene, the managers are not what they once were. I think, though, to wrap up this second video of my Indy memories and managers that I have interacted with over the years, just a few. The best one, I think, is the great Marshall McNeil. Now, Joey Eastman is another great manager who's also a great ring personality. Marshall McNeil. Now, Marshall, he's classic. He used to come out with a polo mallet, and just a classic heel manager. Just fabulous, would occasionally don the tights. He's actually a very good wrestler. But again, you know, it's a lost art. There's too much emphasis right now on guys doing high spots, you know, after high spot, after high spot. We need to revert back to the storytelling of wrestling. I mean, I love great matches with a lot of near falls and everything, but the storytelling part, there's some great wrestlers who I'll talk about in a future video who were so good at telling a story in their matches. A manager is just a fantastic addition, and Marshall McNeil, who managed many heel teams and many heel wrestlers, Johnny Idol, he's had feuds with Johnny Idol. You know, there were many guys, just off the top of my head, you know, with age and creeping senility. But you ask anybody in Connecticut or in New England, you say Marshall McNeil, you'll get a smile. Just a phenomenal personality. So I hope you've enjoyed video number 2 of my Indy memories, and video 3 will be coming up next week. And I think on that video I'm going to mention some of my favorite indie shows I've ever been to, and then talk about the good and bad about those shows, the promoters, some of the guys on the shows, some of my favorite shows. And in the future we'll talk about some incidents I've been involved with that weren't so good, some great incidents, some sad things that have happened. But I hope you've enjoyed these. Sun's coming out here. Oh, and one final thing about the managers. There's a young fella down in the South named the Wrestling Lawyer. And Wrestling Lawyer, you know, you better hope the Gray Ghost never gets a ticket to Greensboro and never has enough money to fly down. Because you know something? I don't like the way that you have manipulated every opponent for your man. And it's time that somebody stands up to the Wrestling Lawyer, all right? And puts you out of the business. Because the Wrestling Lawyer, he talks about, you're going to get subpoenaed and you're going to get, my counsel will subpoena you, yeah. You know what? The Gray Ghost, he's on the side of what's right. And the Wrestling Lawyer is not what's right. There's my little promo as a babyface. Hey, God bless you all. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you soon. Bye. Sure to share this with your friends, comment. Thank you.